If Don Lemon don't go to jail, don't tell me about nothing else lawful. Okay? If Don Lemon don't go to jail, then I don't give a fuck about protesters no more. They can tie this motherfucker down. Okay? Because if you don't care, I don't fucking care. Okay? I'm tired of seeing people do unlawful shit and get away with it, bro. Lock these motherfuckers up, bro. Y'all went out of y'all fucking mind over January 6th. Now you got all these motherfuckers out January 6th in the whole goddamn world and shit. You need to lock these motherfuckers up. It's as simple as that, bro. If y'all don't care, I don't care. If Don Lemon don't go to jail.
People are demanding justice for what Don Lemon did. So we're going to start where the pressure actually comes from. And it's not a politician. It's the people. Notice what you're hearing here. Not revenge, not rage. If you ask me, I just see a guy who wants fairness. Same rules, same urgency, and ultimately same energy. And when enough people say that out loud, the system either responds or completely exposes itself. In the moment that pressure hits critical mass, y'all, someone always steps in to acknowledge it. The chief.
Mental institutions from where they came, that's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it. 20 mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want.
Now we have a little more footage from that this particular press conference, but this is what things stopped being symbolic because Trump didn't dismiss it. He didn't soften it. He didn't even redirect it. He confirmed it. And when, Trump confirms the public's frustration, the rules definitely change immediately. And here's the uncomfortable, I was going to say something totally different. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When systems start waking up, everything you thought was invisible suddenly matters.
Honestly, I didn't realize how exposed I was until it got personal. My number was out there. My old passwords out there. And the crazy part is I thought I was being careful. I don't click weird links. I use very strong passwords, but none of that matters when your information is already floating out there in the internet. And it's not just social media either. It's your email, your bank account, your whole digital life. And this is why I use Aura.com, the sponsor of today's video. They remove your personal info from data broker sites. They scan the dark web 24/7 and alert you the moment your information shows up in a leak or breach. They monitor your credit, your bank accounts, and your social security number. They even bundle in a password manager, antivirus, VPN, and identity theft insurance, all in one app. Since using Aura, I've seen my data pulled off over 20 broker sites. Imagine how much of your info is out there, celebrity. If you've never checked whether your information has been exposed, now is the time. Go to aura.com/kingdomreacts and start your 14-day free trial on us. By the way, that link is in the description. You might be shocked at what's already out there. I was, but at least now I know I'm protected and I know I'm doing my part in helping you protect yourself.
Now, what happens next is something the media never plans for, right? The script gets broken from the inside.
Ain't no white supremacy, American supremacy. You don't want to fight for the real ethnocide of this country, the American Indians, the displaced black people, take y'all home.
What's the message for?
America only.
Are these yours?
1865, no.
Okay,
if you ain't been here since 1865, go on and sit down. Go sit down. We don't need to talk to you. We don't need your help. We don't need your services. 1865, now and forever. Because we're going to cut this out. 14th Amendment will become. It ain't for everybody. You ain't posterity. Go home. Go home. Wherever that is, but it ain't here.
Are we talking about...
everybody go home.
Yes, we're talking about...
Everybody go home.
Who is the everybody?
Everybody. You know, because you ain't from here.
Are we...
If you can't do what I got, paperwork, go stay here. Go back where you came from. That includes you too.
Hey, I am legal here, man.
I don't care about legal or illegal.
Okay.
Denaturalization can happen.
Yes, I understand.
Go home.
Yes, I understand.
Go home.
Yes,
you want to help me? Go home.
All right.
You want to help me? Go home. Wherever that home is, go.
All right.
Ain't no white supremacy, American supremacy.
American supremacy.
And if you don't know what an American is, then I don't know what to tell you. Because I know this one, looking like that ain't no American. The original picture looked like me. Sick of y'all. Too cold out here. Go to hell home. Go to hell home. Take y'all that on home. Everybody go home. Everybody go.
Yeah, man. Oof, this one is spicy. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this woman's particular views on, white people or people who aren't black. That's just coming from my obvious bias that we've seen there. But I want to read the caption. This is absolutely beautiful. She almost made me cry. She's 100% correct. You heard her, everybody. She didn't need college to school y'all asses. Go home, go to Somalia or Gaza or wherever you are fighting for. If you are fighting for America, get the F out. Now, this clip terrifies the left in that sense, because no labels stick, no accusations will land, no spin will survive. In that sense, it's not hatred. It's just ownership. And ownership is the only thing they can't argue with, right? But once emotion enters the room, y'all know what happens. The media always tries to blur the facts. Y'all, let's take a throwback real quick.
Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act. Okay. It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process. Where's the evidence? That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going...
Misdemeanor is not a crime, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So misdemeanor is not a crime?
It's not a criminal act, no. If you get charged with a misdemeanor, that's not a criminal act.
So why get charged at all then, if it's not a criminal act?
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
So it is crime.
No,
it's just
we have different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not. It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. You are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
So it's breaking the law.
No, you're not breaking the law.
It's a misdemeanor is not breaking the law.
No.
If you're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no, if you're speeding is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
Right.
So it's still breaking the law.
Okay, well, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics.
Because
but what I'm saying, but what I'm trying to tell you is everything is not the same. It's all not one thing.
But is it the law?
What is it? The law that what?
Is it a law to come over legally? Is there a law?
There are rules that are processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking the rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
So what happens when you break the rules?
Then you suffer the consequences. But the consequences should not. Look, no one is saying no one should suffer the consequences. You guys are getting things mixed up.
This is like trying to have a conversation with anybody in my family about politics. Hope y'all was watching that carefully, because this isn't education. It's confusion on purpose. So intellectually dishonest, man. When someone starts redefining words everyone already understands, they're not informing you. They're protecting something. And that protection always leaves some fingerprints. It does. So now the question becomes, was this really an accident? Or was this intentional?
I mean, what we're seeing around this country is they're using their political influence to attack people that disagree with them. They're going to come at me with charges, and I'm not scared of that. There's no base for these charges. I did not block them from, their service. They welcomed us in. They never asked us to leave. The police never came in and removed us. So we didn't stop their service. In fact, people were still praying the entire time. The music was still playing the entire time. So, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it. And for all the people giving me death threats, threatening my life, kill me. Go ahead, kill me. Because you know what? As Fred Hampton said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
I can't kill the revolution. And this right here is where ambiguity dies. No misunderstanding, no peaceful framing, no media excuse. He knew exactly what he was doing. He dared the system to respond. That gamble only works when you believe you're untouchable. What? Ideology collapses the moment real people are affected.
I totally disagree. Because of what a pastor does for a living or what they're involved in politically gives no one the right. There was a child in that video who was sitting in their father's arms, shaking, confused, trying to figure out what's going on when these people burst into this church. And Lee, what I would say is people have a First Amendment right and the ability to go and protest against ICE. If they don't like ICE, be my guest, go protest. But those people in that church, I would say and, not but, those people in that church absolutely have a First Amendment right to gather and worship the God of their choosing. And I'll say a point here is it is actually Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the day that we recognize his contribution to the country today. His mother in 1974 was shot and killed in a church because of political violence, because the KKK wanted to insert their political will over a community. This is remarkably similar to that. I remember my great-grandfather telling me stories about church bombings in the South. Remarkably similar to that. Everyone at this table should have no...
So the protest is similar to the person getting shot.
Let me finish, please. Everyone at this table, please, should have absolutely no issue saying that this was wrong, it was reprehensible behavior, and this is not the appropriate way that we address our grievances in this country.
So which innocent people are and are not allowed to get shot as far as you're concerned?
That's not what I'm talking about. People have a right in this country, regardless of what your political convictions are, to worship freely and safely, and no one should watch a child on camera like what we saw trembling in their father's arms because of your political convictions. ICE does to children and their families.
Your
political convictions do not overstep someone's ability to worship safely and
securely.
Stop
did I call that into question? Did I call that into question?
I'm sorry, guys.
If you're talking about
but there's no but. There's no but.
There's a little
bit
of a different issue because...
I know that's right. Now, this is the point of no return. Every argument ends here. If your movement causes children to shake in church, you don't need better messaging. What you need is consequences. Full stop. And once the public sees this, silence is no longer an option.
And that pastor really did a remarkable thing there, trying to protect his parishioners.
And even the parishioners, I imagine, have felt and feel intimidated and
They did, and there's going to be arrests in the next several hours, Greta. There will be arrests tied to that, and people will be brought to justice for how they violated the law in that situation.
Well, Don Lemon is a journalist, and so I thought he was going, and so when I first saw it, I assumed he was going in as a journalist covering it. I mean, I go into bad places and ask questions all the time, but when his comment about the white supremacy all of a sudden made me think, well, maybe he wasn't there as a journalist.
Yeah, well, Greta, not only that comment, but the fact that ahead of time, before this even happened, he said that he had conducted some surveillance before they went into this church. He identified individuals that were going in with him that were activists and the work that they'd done in the past. The fact that this entire situation was then posted on the Black Lives Matter website, all of that is something that they're going to be responsible for.
Well,
and that pastor really
did. This is where panic sets in, right? No delays, no qualifiers, no sympathy tour, just the message. The rules still exist. And suddenly, everyone involved starts recalculating. Instead of slowing down, though, let me show y'all something. They do what movements always do when they're cornered, right?
The organizer of the protest calls for the pastor's resignation.
For David Easterwood to be a pastor when he is condoning this kind of conduct.
So remember, they went to the church because they don't want ICE, right? And David is supposedly over one of the head departments of ICE. So they don't feel like he should be over a department of ICE and a pastor because God wouldn't like that.
And not just condoning it through his silence when it comes to addressing it publicly with our community.
He hasn't said nothing about it. Silent.
But the fact that he was referenced in the lawsuit that was filed by the ACLU in December on behalf of 6 residents, calling out the retaliatory and abusive tactics by ICE. And you know what David said in that lawsuit? There is no evidence that this is going on. It's the protesters and their aggression that's at fault.
Which is an absolute fact, because when Obama was doing all this, y'all weren't protesting. You weren't in the streets. You weren't standing in front of cars. You weren't standing in front of people. Like, you weren't doing all of this. No whistles.
Well, think about what Rebecca Good said.
Oh, hell no.
The wife of Renee Good. They had guns. We had whistles.
She had a car.
So you are talking about nonviolent, peaceful protesters with whistles, rocks, ice, and occasionally fireworks.
Don't leave out the car. The car is very important here.
Being compared to these thugs.
Y'all are the thugs.
Coming into our community with high-powered assault weapons.
Because they're part of the government, police, and military.
Who have flashbang grenades.
Be lucky you didn't get what Maduro's people got, okay?
Who have tear gas and green gas, being able to unleash these military-grade weapons upon our community.
Truthfully, they wouldn't have all that stuff if y'all would keep y'all asses inside and let them do their job.
And instead of these issues being addressed, what do we get from the federal government? Threats of investigating those of us who were involved in a peaceful demonstration at City's Church.
Absolutely, because you broke the law. You sure did, And since you're so loud about people breaking laws, you can't do it, and don't think that there's someone's gonna come after you. I mean, duh.
The same federal government that made up lies after the brutal murder.
You mean her suicide attempt?
Of mother and wife Renee Good, falsely claiming that she was a domestic terrorist.
Can you show proof that she wasn't?
Falsely claiming that she tried to run over ICE agent Jonathan Ross.
He got the internal bleeding to prove it, okay? And she should have got out the car like you should have got out that church.
How dare they?
How dare you?
Then putting out a statement that they're not going to investigate him.
They are going to investigate you.
On top of all of that. And what did the Vice President of the United States say, who is also a lawyer? That this man has total immunity, which is false under the law.
I'm just mad.
So these people need to be called out and they need to be held accountable.
Accountable. I hope you like that word when it drives around Joe Block.
For continuing to assault the very people who are standing up for freedom, justice, and equality.
That would be us against your ass.
Think about the family of 8 that was driving in North Minneapolis on the day that the Venezuelan national was shot in the leg.
See, this is what y'all love to do. You want to talk about how the baby almost got hurt and all this, but you don't want to talk about how the cop got attacked by the national and other protesters and people and hit upside the head with a shovel. You don't want to talk about that.
In light of all of the abuse and harm being levied by ICE, if they were true to the gospel that I just referenced, but instead, what did they do? Issue a statement calling protesters lawless.
There's a lot of laws being broken right now.
That's the kind of gaslighting that we're dealing with here.
This whole speech was gaslighting, and I was trying to get to the point where you called for the dude's resignation, but you taking too long with your bullshit. So we just gonna say right now that we don't give two shits about what you think. What we do care about is the DOJ putting your ass in jail. So hurry that shit up, y'all. Let's go.
Damn. I was waiting to see if I was going to call for sneeze. If you know, you know. But this isn't accountability right here, man. What you seen that woman doing up there at that podium was pure entitlement. When you demand resignations after crossing a line, you're not correcting behavior. You're admitting you expected immunity. That's why when she was like, "You mad?" I was like, "Yep, she's mad." And that expectation is exactly, what collapsed. And finally, here's the moment nobody planned for, y'all. Peep this.
For some of y'all to be Christians, y'all are hypocritical as hell when it came to this Don Lemon and Nicki Minaj church situation. All sis said is leave them alone at the church, basically. Let them folks praise God. Leave the political stuff out of it because none of them congregation people in there is a part of ICE. But for some reason, Don Lemon took his black ass in there and disrupted them folks' church. So what you do that for? And then some of y'all don't know the law. Like, y'all don't know the law at all. Y'all be in the comments loud and wrong as fuck. I'm gonna need y'all to, before y'all comment, do your research. Because he broke a law, literally. Literally. So we'll see what happened with that. But yeah, Don Lemon, he got cocksucker of the day. For real. Congrats. For some of y'all to be Christians.
Man, that beat was rocking. But this right here is exactly how the narratives end. No speeches, not with the headlines, but when the culture says, "Yeah, you went too far, my boy." No race card. No media shield and no escape hatch. Just consequences. This was never about speech. It was about who thought the rules didn't apply to them. And the second that illusion cracked, everything got serious. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment. Okay, we said this last video, but still, Put same rules with a pointing emoji at it. Just to make it a little different. Y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.